Welcome to the Next Step Recovery podcast. We call this more than recovery because addiction is so much more than just getting clean from our addictions, our strongholds. It's really finding our purpose in life, and that's what we're here for each and every day. I like to say that we have three purposes here at the Next Step Recovery podcast. The first purpose is to encourage people, to encourage those who are struggling in their addiction, or just in life. It doesn't have to be an addiction. It could be anything. So we want to encourage you. Number two, we want to educate you. We want to help you help other people. We want to help you help others. And then finally, we want to expand our reach. We want to expand our impact. We want to expand our partners. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we look forward to a great show. All right. Hey, Robert, welcome back. It's been a while since you've been on the podcast. And today we want to talk about probably the most powerful word, not just in the English language, but in any language. It can be a powerful word. It can be an uncomfortable word. Mm-hmm. It can be a word that causes you some distress and some consternation. And it's a small word with two letters.
I wonder what that word is.
And that word is no.
Oh,
not K-N-O-W, like good to know you.
Yeah.
But no, you can't have that. No, you can't do that. So when you were a kid, did your parents ever tell you?
Oh yeah, all the time.
No.
And I was always so upset about it.
Yeah, right. We don't like the word no. But it's funny because it's the first word sometimes we learn as children. You know, when my grandkids are little and it's one of the first words no. You know, and do you want to eat your vegetables? No. Do you want to go outside? No, I don't want to do that. Right. So it can be a really negative word in our culture, and we don't like to be told no. Yeah. Right. So in the world of fundraising, that's what we do at Next Step. And we're a nonprofit. We're a faith-based, Christ-centered nonprofit. So we have to raise money. And that means we have to talk to people and ask them for money. And people will tell you
no.
And no is an interesting word. So basically we're in sales, really. You know, a salesman or a salesperson is going to go out and try to sell a product, and they're going to sit across from a client, and they're going to say, maybe you're a stockbroker or maybe you're a realtor, and you're going to say, I think this product or I think this property would be best for you at this price. And the client looks at you and says, no. Right. And so you get the same thing in the nonprofit world. You know, you get the no's, and that's okay, because really what's the word we like to hear?
Yes.
Yeah. The 3-letter word. Yes. But here's what I've discovered about yes. Yes is not exciting as we think it is. Right. And I'll give you an example. So if I sit across from you and I say, Robert, I've got this great opportunity for you. You have the opportunity to invest in this product, buy this product. It will make your life better. It will make you look better, feel better, talk better, walk better. It will make you rich. It will make you wealthy. It will do all these things for you. And you look at me and say,
yeah.
No, you say no. You got to say no. The word is no. And the word is not. I know we said yes, but the word is no, right? And you say no. Well, now what does that do? What does no cause me to do?
Well, I mean, it kind of causes you to kind of like change the conversation a little bit, right?
Maybe ask some questions. No causes me to now say, well, Robert, why do you say that? Or how come you say that, right? You know, sometimes why, in another word here, we're playing on words here. Sometimes why can make me a little defensive. Well, why not? Right? So I got to figure out a different way to say that, you know. Well, Robert, what are your objections? What would be your objections to the product, right? And you would come with some, well, it's not a good time.
Yeah.
I'm broke. My money's all tied up in XYZ right now. I had a conversation with a guy the other day, just this exact same thing about making a contribution to Next Step. And in not so many words, his answer was no, right? But then when we got into the conversation over lunch, then you found out why. I found that information. Well, Todd, I'm heading into the summer months, and in the summer months, that's when my business makes the money.
Yeah.
So probably come September would be a better time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, I just found out more information.
Yeah.
Right. I just found no drove me to more information. No helped me to learn more about the person.
Mm-hmm.
No helped me to be better educated. Or if I got right to a yes, conversation's over.
Yeah.
Well, what are we going to talk about now? Right. So no causes me to pause,
Yeah.
to ask questions, to think through different options, to be creative, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I was speaking to this person, I said, well, if you can't do that much now, maybe you could do it over time. Maybe you can't make that large of a donation right now, but maybe over the next 3 to 4 months, you could break it up. Oh, I can do that? Right? So now what's happening in the conversation? He's learned that there's other options for him. He's learned that he can do things a different way. And I've learned that, okay, now's not the best time for him, but the best time is at the end of the summer, right? So all of a sudden, no has driven me to gather more information. I understand him better. It builds the relationship. No is powerful.
Yeah.
No is a very, very powerful word, but we get real uncomfortable with it, right? We get really, and why is that? What do you think? And I just a little peek behind the scenes here. Yesterday, when we were prepping for the podcast, I gave Robert a list of topics, and then at 4:00 in the morning this morning, I changed them all. So he walked into the podcast, and I said, before we were setting up, and I said, Robert, everything's changed. And he looks at me with these deer in the headlights and he goes, oh no. Right. So he may not be as prepared as he normally would be for the questions. So I'm coaching him along here because that's what I do. I wake up at 4:00 in the morning and I change the whole, and that's my prerogative, I guess, as the host of the podcast. And then Robert has to deal with that. He has to my wife has to deal with that all the time. So, but yeah, so the thing about no, why does it make me so uncomfortable?
Well, I think that I know for me, when I was little, I used to always like want to get what I wanted then and there. And then when I was told no, I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm not getting what I want. So see, and I was kind of conniving as a kid. So I would just continue asking until I got what I want. But yeah, like that no kind of was like, oh wow, like I'm not getting what I want in this. And that makes me upset. That made me uncomfortable. And as I've gotten older, I mean, like I've gotten more used to no, like it doesn't upset me much anymore. But like when I was a kid, it was like the worst word that you could say at any time is no. Hey, can I go to my friend's house? No, you can't do that because we got stuff going on.
Why would your parents tell you? Why would your grandparents tell you? Why would they tell you no? What would be the reasons for saying no? Well,
a lot of times, if I asked why, they would say because I said so, and that's not.
Because
I never liked that answer because that didn't give me a reason as to why. But that was the main answer. But then sometimes they actually gave me a reason, like no, because we've got so and so to do today, so we don't really have. We don't really have time to do this.
So no would indicate there's other priorities.
Most of the time, sometimes yes.
Okay. So if my now grandkids would come to me and they would say, "Hey, Pop, can we go outside and play in the thunderstorm?" My answer would be,
no.
No. Why? So why would I tell them no?
Oh, I mean, you're trying to protect them.
Right.
You don't want them to get hurt.
I'm trying to protect them. Mm-hmm. Right. I'm trying to protect them. So sometimes no is indicating there's other priorities. Sometimes no indicates that there's some boundaries that need to be implemented, right? Yep. Sometimes no means there's a different time, right? Sometimes no means there's a different person, right? That would be better fit. No, Todd, I can't do that, but I know somebody who can. Hey, can you make a $20,000 donation to Next Step? Todd, I can't, but I know somebody who can.
Yeah.
And here's their number. Here's who they are. They would be glad to talk to you, right? So no, Yes isn't as powerful.
Yeah.
It makes me feel good.
Yes, it does.
Right. So I had a conversation the other day with a guy. I said, hey, how about a X amount of dollar contribution to Next Step? No. That drove the conversation to other options, timing, just like we talked about. Then the next morning I had a conversation with a gentleman, and I sat down at the table with him. And before I ever got the words out of my mouth, he looked at me and he goes, I already sent a check. It's already in the mail.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay. So now where does the conversation go? so how's the weather?
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. Information gathering stopped.
Yeah.
Now we did go to other topics, right? But it wasn't a deep conversation.
Yeah.
Like we had with no.
Mm-hmm.
Because then I could have, hey, what are the objections right now? Yeah. What's the holdup? Is there something perhaps that you're not happy with us as an organization?
Yeah.
Right. I've had people stop giving to Next Step because they were unhappy. I had a lady who used to give every month. She gave us a certain amount of money. Right. And then all of a sudden she stopped, and I called her. And to come to find out, she was upset with us. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
And then come to find out what she was upset with us about was a complete misunderstanding. It wasn't anything we had done. It was something somebody else had done. But without her, because when she stopped giving, what was she saying? No. Right? She was saying, no, I'm not gonna contribute anymore. When things are going well, you stop asking questions.
Yeah.
I stop asking. When things are going well, I stop asking questions. When things are not going well, I start to ask questions. Mm-hmm. I heard somebody say yesterday, when the sun's out, I don't check the weather.
Yeah.
When the weather's great, I don't check it. But when the weather's not going to be great,
when it's cloudy, yeah.
Right. I start to check the weather. So when there's some friction, when there's some pushback, I start to check the weather. I have some things here that I have on my notes that I'm going to share. And this comes, and I shared this the other day with some folks. This comes from a guy named Chris Voss. Chris Voss was a chief hostage negotiator for the FBI. And he has in his book, his book is called Never Split the Difference and Negotiating Your Life as If Your Life Depended on It. And he talks about the power of no. And he says it's much more powerful than a yes. And he says these things about no. He says, no protects us from quick or not well thought out options. How often do you tell your small children or teenagers no? No, you can't take the car out tonight, right? Yeah. Because for whatever reason. No preserves a healthy control of my life. Mm-hmm. No drives further dialogue, and that's what we've been talking about. No drives further dialogue between the two parties, and it builds the relationship. Mm-hmm. No provides necessary pauses in life in a hurried and fast world. Yeah. Maybe I'm moving too fast. No forces communication to occur at deeper levels than they had been. That's what we just talked about. No causes us to look at other and perhaps better options. Right?
Yeah.
No, I can't do XYZ amount today, but I can do XYZ amount plus some in 3 months.
Yeah.
Right? So it gives me maybe some better options, or here's somebody who can do that, Todd, and it gives me a new relationship. No helps us to look, or no helps the real issues come to the surface. Yep. No uncovers what yes won't. So no will cause us to uncover some things that yes won't, that we won't uncover with a yes. No slows the process down to ensure we are doing things correctly. Right.
Yeah.
So you can't put that screw in before you put this piece on.
Yeah.
Right. No is just saying, we're not ready for that piece yet, but that piece will come. Mm-hmm. But no right now.
Yeah.
And sometimes God will do that to us. God will say,
true.
no, not right
No.
Not right now. Right? Sometimes God says no to protect us. Sometimes God says no to you're out of order right now. It's not time for that yet.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes God says no just because it's not the right thing for us.
Yeah.
And we don't, and we struggle with that. Go, why not?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So no slows the process down to ensure we're doing things correctly. No protects our emotions. Have you ever said yes to something that you woke up the next day and said, ugh, I just committed to something that I probably didn't want to, and now I got to go back and fix that.
Yeah.
And now you're stressed about it. You're depressed about it. You're worried about it. You're anxious, but now I got to go back and say no. Years ago, this is a funny story. Years ago, my wife and I, we were living overseas in Hawaii. And my wife comes to me one day and she says, I got us booked on a dinner cruise around the island. I'm like, great. She goes, it's free. I said, wow. Well, nothing's free.
Yeah.
I said, then I thought for a minute. I said, how can it be free? And she said, well, we have to sit through an hour presentation for a timeshare condo. And I sat there and the only thing I wanted was the free dinner cruise.
Yeah.
So we had to get there early, sit through the presentation. After you get done with the presentation, they then push you into another room where they have a sales guy there. So you're going to sit across the table. You sit through this 30-minute presentation. Then when you get done, they move you into another room and you're listening. This guy's going to talk to you one-on-one or one-on-two. Here are the options. Here, this would be great for you. How much does it cost? Here it is. And I looked at him and I said, no. I said, I just want the tickets to the dinner cruise. That's the only reason I'm here. And he said, well, he goes, maybe there's another package that's better for you. What was he doing? He was answering my objection. He was giving me other options. But this guy ended up not doing well. Okay. So drove him to ask me more questions and to dig further. And he looked at me and he goes, well, perhaps there's a cheaper option that you would like. So he says, go now to this room and talk to this guy. So we go to the next room. Again, they run through the whole thing. And I looked at him and I said, no. And he looked at me and here's how he ends it. He says, if you don't buy this condo package, this timeshare package, you'll probably never go on vacation. And if you never go on vacation, you'll have an unhappy wife. And if you have an unhappy wife, you're going to end up divorced.
What a sales pitch. What a sales pitch. Wow.
That was not the best objection to my no. At that point, I looked at him and I said, give me my tickets. I'm hungry. Let's go eat.
Yeah. Wow.
So no was protecting us from investing into something that I knew was wrong for us. Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm. But I can't tell you I was shocked at how many people were sitting in that room signing contracts who probably woke up the next morning.
I'm like, I shouldn't have done that.
What did I just do?
Yeah.
Dave Ramsey shares a story about, he said he used to do that. And he said that, and he used to tell people, he said they had a high rate of buyer's remorse. Mm-hmm. People would call the next day and say, hey, look, I thought about this overnight. I really don't want to purchase that property. How can I back out? And he said they had a high rate of buyer's remorse the next day. He said, so we figured out how to deal with that. He said, we would tell them right there when they were signing the paperwork that day, he said, we would look right at them. He said, and this is you're just exposing the problem before the problem hits. Mm-hmm. He said, we would tell them, look, here's what's going to happen. You're going to wake up the next morning. He said, and you're going to feel uncomfortable about this. You're going to feel like you made a bad decision. I just want to let you know that's normal. And most people just work right through it. It's okay. Yeah. He said, and our sales remorse refunds were cut by a significant amount, because what did he do? He stated right up front, you're going to want to say no tomorrow. Yeah. So it protects our emotions. And then number 10, no forces healthy conflict that leads to fewer but stronger yeses. Yeah. That's what we're looking for. Because yes can mean a lot of things. No means one thing.
Yeah.
No means no. But yes can mean, yes, get out. I just want you out of my hair.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I agree with you. Or yes, I'm committed. But a lot of times we're left to not really know what that yes means.
Yeah.
But we know what no means.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And so working through no, whether it's no, you can't have dessert before your meal, right? Or no, you can't go outside and play in the thunderstorm. Or no, I'm not going to give to Next Step right now. But no drives me to learn more, to understand more, to gather more information, and to get to a stronger yes at the end of the day. So
absolutely.
So the power of no, we could spend all day on that, Robert, but we won't. And I want us to not be afraid of the word no, and to not be afraid to have people tell us no, that understanding that no is just a greater opportunity for a better yes. It's been a different podcast today. Over the next few podcasts, it's just going to be me and Robert. It's that time of year where it's we have some guests in waiting, but we don't want to delay getting podcasts out. We want to stay in front of you, but we're going to spend the next few podcasts just talking about some different topics. I believe the next podcast we're going to talk about that's not fair. And what do we mean by that? That's not fair, and how we use that phrase and that word to manipulate, and how we really misunderstand what fairness really is. So hope you will join us again for our next episode. If you have any questions for us, you can reach out to us at www.nextstepmen.org. And I hope you have benefited from this conversation today. Have a great day.